for myself and I won't do what they say. Well, I think for myself and I won't do what they say.
I think for myself and I won't do what they say. Well, that's going to change because you look at your cover of your Trends Journal over there. Your latest one, think for yourself. It's not illegal yet. And boy, it's just happening all over the world. Little Gatson Macron over there shooting his mouth off now. You know, toughening up on mandates, protests going on. Think for yourself. You're not allowed to think for yourself. I'm some stupid-ass comedian like all these other clowns out there, the Kimmel and all these other shitheads telling you what to do. How dare you think for yourself? I'm a little piece of lemon. I'm a lemon head. I'm little Donnie Lemon. You can't think for yourself anyway. Going back to the trends in the news today, think for yourself. Oh, Maron. Okay, the markets. The Dow was down about 158 points. Why? Oh, because those inflation numbers that came in. Oh, the inflation numbers? Remember, fuckface Powell over there? The arrogant little dick that plays the bankster head over there, the Federal Reserve. Again, it's Federal Express. The murderous bastard may rot in hell. Woodrow Wilson, Princeton president, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, bullets, bombs, and banks. That's the guy that gave us the Federal Reserve that also got us into World War I. And in America today, it's Veterans Day. Veterans Day. Look what they have done to the veterans in this country since World War II. Hey, you like that Korean War? Oh, yeah, we lost it, but I forget all the guys that suffered from it and destroying the areas over there. No, maybe you like the Vietnam War that Johnson brought us. Yeah, Lyndon bullshit, motherfucking bastard Johnson and Nixon. Yeah, I was there, man, not in Vietnam. They were going after every day I'd wake up, are they going to get me? They're going to get me. And I was too stupid to be against the war. The war that killed over 3 million Vietnamese, poisoned the place with Agent Orange, killed almost 60,000 American soldiers, wounded about over 300,000, and fucked the minds up of, hundreds and hundreds of thousands. Now, I know you like the Afghan war, huh? Well, look what they did to our veterans, young guys that believe this stuff. Now, the Iraq War, Veterans Day. Where are the protests? I know, you love Obama. It's Veterans Day. I want that guy Assad out of there. So what? You got 5 million refugees in Syria going into all these other countries and killed probably over 500,000. Oh, Libya. Yeah. I want that guy Gaddafi out of there. Veterans Day. What a disgrace to the veterans. The murderous little pricks that are in charge. These guys couldn't fight their way out of a fucking paper bag. But boy, did they get tough and send everybody else like that little Dick Cheney. Oh, I got to be proper. People don't like my language when I use the proper language to describe the situation. So I have to call him Penis Cheney. And then there's little dickhead Bush. Can you imagine little Georgie Bush in a fight? He wouldn't know whether to piss or shit if he came man-to-man against them. Veterans Day, it's a disgrace what these politicians have done to the veterans of this country. So I respect them. I respect the veterans for doing what they're doing, but not where the government has sent them to do. Moving on to the markets again. So going back to inflation. Powell bullshitted that it was temporary, and it was transitory. It isn't. It's real. And you go to my Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, go back 2 months ago, me telling them this is what's going to happen, and we've been nailing it perfectly in the Trends Journal. So, gold prices, now they're back up to a 5-month high, and you know I haven't backed off on it. Bitcoin's still hanging over 63,000. Oil's flat, but still at around 83 a barrel. And things are heating up in Israel. Yeah, this is from the Jerusalem Post. So, I'm not making it up, so you can't call me an anti-Semite, shitheads. Israel ups airstrikes in Syria as next step against Iran. This is from the Jerusalem Post. At least 7 airstrikes targeting Iranians and Shiite militia have been blamed on Israel in the past month alone. Going back to oil prices. If this thing keeps heating up over there, you're going to see oil prices over $100 a barrel. This economy goes down worldwide. Today's Financial Times. Energy and good costs drive U.S. wholesale price increases. Yep. U.S. inflation accelerated last month, driven by energy, goods, costs, and inflationary pressures mounted in the world's largest economy. The PPI index was up, the producer price index was up 8.8% from a year ago, matching September's record gain. Yep. The labor department, and it goes on. Home prices rose in the third quarter. The median price rose by more than 10% from a year earlier. Nationwide, the median single-family existing home sales price rose 16% in the third quarter. You ready? To $363,700. That's how much it costs to buy the average home. You're working at Amazon, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Staples, Dollar General. How are you going to afford a home? Again, we're writing about this in the Trends Journal. The apartment business is booming. It's going to continue to do so. Something I read that I didn't realize, but this hit me big, from the Financial Times. Rising inflation pushes real interest rates to 1970 lows. So what happens is that inflation is going way up, right? So real interest rates, which many economists believe are the single most important price in the economy, of course they are, subtract inflation from nominal rates and reflect the real cost of funds to borrow. As inflation is rising in the U.S., Eurozone, and the U.K., that means real interest rates are becoming more negative. In the U.S., nominal interest rates are near zero, and inflation is running over 5%. Real rates are around minus 5.3%. You got it? I didn't. I forgot about inflation. So all this cheap money they're pumping into the economy, the bigs are borrowing it for nothing and buying up everything. Demand pushes up ethanol prices. Prices for ethanol, the corn-based fuel that is common additive to gasoline, it's only up about 50% this year. And that they lie, and nobody goes after these lying bastards and bitches, because we got Janet Yellen over there, Miss Fatja Brut, the head of the U.S. Treasury, former head of the bankster gang, saying that this is temporary, it was going to go away. It's not. I said how the money is going to the bigs, and the bigs keep getting bigger. Hershey's to buy 2 pretzel makers. DoorDash to buy financial Finland startup. Unity Software to buy digital studio. ADT to buy solar panel installer. Software group McAfee agrees to $14 billion takeover. All right? That's just in 2 days. Every week in the Trends Journal, we have a section called Big's Getting Bigger. Going back, we got negative inflation rates when you put negative interest rates when you put inflation into it, and the Fed still won't raise interest rates. It shows you what kind of Ponzi scheme it is, and that's why gold is going up. What will bring it down? When interest rates really go up. It'll go down temporarily. But when interest rates go up, this economy is going to go down around the world. When America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. We're still the largest economy. Moving on. The future's bright. Pokemon's Go creator Niantic opens up race to shape metaverse. Again, this metaverse is real. It's going to happen. A whole new creation is happening. Not one that I like, but one that is. I look at things the way they are, not the way I want them to be. It's going virtual, the entire world. Tech giants gravitate toward metaverse. The Wall Street Journal. And moving on. Pfizer BioNTech asked FDA to expand booster to all adults. This was yesterday. Pfizer Inc. and partner BioNTech asked the U.S. health regulators to expand the authorization of their COVID-19 booster to people as young as 18 years old. The recovery rate of people 1 to 19, according to the CDC, is 99.997%. They're injecting children 5 to 11 years old, as we detailed in the Trends Journal. In the United States, 5 to 14-year-olds, there are about 28 million of them. 72 have died in that age group out of 28 million since March of 2020. And they're vaccinating. And the Pfizer gang said that these things were 95 to 96% efficacy rate when they sold it back in December of 2020 in November. The Pfizer BioNTech vaccine is given in 2 doses, 3 weeks apart. The company said the additional dose would increase antibody levels that have dropped over time following the second shot. They never said that the antibodies would drop. They said once you got it, it was good. But then we've been writing in the Trends Journal going back to April how they were going to sell the booster shot. And here it is, and it's going to be a yearly shot. You better believe it. Yeah, Pfizer and BioNTech said last month that researchers found the booster shot was 95.6% effective. Why believe them? Why not? They always lie. Again, going back to what's going on in the markets, the metaverse, real estate, vaccine fears, and a whole new world that began when the COVID war was launched in 2020. Hearst employees rebel at return to office order. More than 300 employees at Hearst Magazine Division have signed a petition objecting to the company's plan to have them return to the office starting next week. And their union has filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. Employees have pushed back some 300, a majority of the approximately 550 in the magazine's division, as well as up to 450 in its union, sent a petition to the top Hearst executives. It calls for the company to do away with required office days. Excuse me. And they're saying they only have to come back 3 days at most. Let's go back to commercial real estate and what this means. Let's go back to metaverse and what it means. It's a whole new world. Think of, I know where Hearst is. I used to go to this great Italian place not far from there, Trattoria dell'Arte. And all the businesses around there that depend on all these employees. And now you don't have the employees going back to work like they used to. This is really going to hurt. And a whole new world is being created. We're not going to have an economic bounce back. We're going to have dragflation. Inflation's going to go up, and the economies are going to go down. Stretched too thin, with staff exhausted, schools cancel class or return to remote learning. This is from Today, USA Today. School districts across the nation are temporarily closing or switching back to remote learning as school administrators struggle with empty classrooms, driverless buses, they're not driverless, no drivers in the bus, they're not driverless buses, and understaffed cafeterias. All right? It's not going to be an economic bounce back. The whole thing is changing. And then you look at all the data coming in, educational levels are plummeting. You think it was bad before? This is from CNBC. After weeks of declines, U.S. COVID cases have stalled, but at high levels. And they go on to say, cases have fallen most sharply in the South. Oh, wait a minute. COVID hotspots across the U.S. in the meantime have shifted away from much of the South. The South is the least vaccinated place. California cases are going up. But again, they just came out with another thing of all the fake cases that they were giving kids. Again, the data is there about how fake the cases are. But the interesting thing is the places that are the least vaccinated, the cases are going down. On to some international news. This is from the Wall Street Journal today. Democracy loses favor across Latin America. They're talking about the election in Nicaragua. Yeah. Democracy loses favor? How about the United States and all the destruction they've caused in South America and Latin America? It's not democracy. What do you think, you got democracy in America? You got a criminal gang running it. Unless you got money from the corporations, you're not in there. You're not in the game. Democracy, what a fucking joke. Republicans and Democrats. Look at the slime ball pieces of shit. And they're talking about democracy? You know, fuck off. Look at them. Oh, you like Lindsey Graham? Did you come out of the closet yet? Little Chucky Schumer, little fucking dickless prick. No, I like Nancy Pelosi. No, Mitch McConnell's the guy for me. Democracy. Democracy. With the dumbo craps and the repulsivekins. All right. Chile's lower house lawmakers vote to impeach president. Wonder why? Democracy. Oh, because the guy was doing all these dirty money deals? You mean that why? Oh, okay. On to COVID again. Important. German-speaking countries resist COVID-19 vaccines. This is from Financial Times. As Switzerland kicked off mass COVID-19 vaccine drive, riot police formed lines around Zurich's main train station. The mission? To protect a new vaccination village in the station hall from angry protesters. Quote, "We are a civil rights movement," said Nicholas Romoldi, who was one of the several people arrested during Monday's protest. The huge pressure being put on people against morality, against the Constitution, is just not right. Despite being one of the wealthiest countries in the world, Switzerland has the lowest COVID-19 vaccination rate in Western Europe. Oh, those stupid Swiss, huh? One of the wealthiest countries in the world. Oh, they must be Trump supporters. These are intelligent people. And what's different in Switzerland, when you talk about direct democracy, they're going to be having a vote. The people will be voting on whether or not, on November 28th, the day before my birthday, Switzerland is gearing up for a referendum that will codify the federal government's emergency pandemic powers. Let's see what happens. At least the people have the right to vote. Direct democracy, I'm all for it. Oh, the people are too stupid. Yeah, you look up to these shithead fuckfaces. They're so fucking brilliant. The dumbo-craps and the repulsivekins. I want direct democracy. I began this by talking about all the illegal wars in America and the millions of people and trillions of dollars they've stolen from us in the military-industrial complex and the millions and millions of people they've killed around the world. I launched Occupy Peace, and I also launched the Universal Church of Freedom, Peace, and Justice. And again, we are church members, freedompeacejustice.com, that sign up, become members, get the vaccination exemption. And the feedback has been 99.999999% positive from everyone that's gone in there. And when the people have problems with them, we help them out further. And we're doing a great job. So I put my money, my heart where my life is. And I don't like people stealing it from me. So I launched Occupy Peace to stop these illegal wars. And that's my greatest fear. When all else fails, they take you to war. Again, that article I read you earlier from the Jerusalem Post. Israel ups airstrikes in Syria as next step against Iran. Israel has seemingly upped its, quote, war between wars campaign against Iran in Syria as the country's top officer warned that the IDF is accelerating its plans to deal with Iran's nuclear program. At least 7 airstrikes targeting Iran and Shiite militias have been blamed on Israel in the past month alone. The most recent one on Monday. Of course, we wrote about that in the Trends Journal. And again, as things go down, as we've been warning, there's going to be a refugee and a migrant crisis, the likes we've never heard of before. And surge in global food prices hits emerging nations hardest. Oh, this is only from the Financial Times. The emerging markets are submerging. There's wars raging throughout Africa, Sudan, Ethiopia. Ethiopia is the second largest populated country in Africa. It's right there, right at the top. All right, the people are going to be escaping. You see what's going on with Belarus and Poland. It's going to be a big one. And then finally, and we got a lot more, you'll get it in your Trends Journal, another, again, award-winning magazine. Think for yourself. It's not illegal yet. Starbucks fight intensifies. The fight to unionize Starbucks cafes in New York State's second largest city, Buffalo, they're unionizing. They have a vote coming up. You're going to see a lot more unions forming. People have nothing to lose. And they have a shortage of employees, so it's a supply and demand issue. You're going to see a lot more strikes in 2022. A lot more union formations. A lot's going to happen. 2022, in 2 weeks, we're going to be coming out with our top trends for 2022. You're not going to want to miss them. But for now, this is Gerald Salenti. That's some of today's trends in the news. And tomorrow, woof, I'll be flying out to Miami to be on Mark Morse's MarketDisruptorsLive.com. Go there, MarketDisruptorsLive.com. And he has a great conference with great speakers. And I can't wait to meet Dr. Mercola. He's going to be there as well. So thanks for tuning in, and see you soon. The COVID-19 war has changed the world, but who's prepared? What's next? It's in your Trends Journal. Trends Journal subscribers are prepared. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens from the world leader in trend forecasting.